speaking of HBO Max, the much disputed, hailed, whatever you want to call it, Snyder cut of Justice League has finally been willed into existence by the internet. It will be being released on HBO Max, with HBO spending 30 million or plus, depending on what report you read. It'll be a lot more than 30 million to finish posts on the film. They're not going to do any reshoots. And according to Warner Brothers, it will not affect the DCEU at all. I've also heard that it's either going to be released as either one long film or in 6 episodes or in episodic form. So why this is newsworthy to me is because this is different than a director's cut of a film, which usually gets released once it's been put out on DVD or Blu-ray, which this also is. But instead of being a whole new film like the Snyder cut is going to be, it's anywhere from 2 to 5 to 7 minutes of footage that had been cut that the director wanted to put back in and now has been able to, now that it's on DVD or Blu-ray. Right. But the Snyder cut, it promises to really be a whole new experience. And I'm just curious what this is actually going to do, because like I said, director's cuts are not uncommon. I see a lot of them. Ridley Scott has about 8 of them for his original Blade Runner. He keeps taking stuff out. He's never done tinkering with that movie. But since this has been announced, David Ayer, who directed Suicide Squad, wants to release his cut of it. And Paul Feig, who directed Ghostbusters back in 2016, says that he has a 3.5-hour cut of that movie that he would love to release as well. It's a very interesting precedent that this could set. It's kind of dangerous, too, because as we were talking about pre-show, you were saying that everyone seems to be trying to take power from everyone else. And
that's what it looks like.
How many of these, like, are we going to see a bunch of directors now coming out and saying, like, no, the studio took away my cut. I want to do final cut. HBO, pay for this, or Netflix, pay for this, or whatever it ends up being. Like, what do you see in your crystal ball?
Ultimately, I think that it could be a win-win-win situation. Because if you think about it as a business person, you just made a cut of a movie that people are saying bombed. Let's take Suicide Squad, for example, right? The studio will always have the rights for Suicide Squad, right? But now you get to appease David, who's going to go out and be like, I could do it better than what you just approved. And he's going to go out and make his own product. He's going to sell that to, well, he's going to sell his version to, say, like a Netflix or an Amazon or whoever, right? The only issue is, all right, I figured the only situation that I'm seeing right now, and it's something that I have to think about a little bit more, where it could be very, very dangerous, is at the end of the day when Netflix or HBO or one of these guys decides to drop it, who's that money going to? Yeah. Right? And that's the main issue that I'm seeing. It's like if Netflix picks this up, they say let's sink 20 million into your director's version of, Suicide Squad. Is Warner Brothers receiving the full money once that hits on Netflix? Is if you put it on Amazon and you have it, you rent the series for like say $30 or whatnot. Say it's like 6 hours in total, and it's like a 3-parter, 4-parter, or whatever the case might be. You drop that on Amazon and you rent that out. Is Amazon getting that money? Is Warner Brothers what's the rights going to? Like, I don't know how that side of things might work, but I do see a possibility where it could work out, which is the only reason why something like the Snyder cuts could be released on HBO Max for more than one reason. Studio already owns HBO, so the money is retained anyway. Snyder gets what he wants. The internet obviously pressed hard enough, and in most cases, especially when it comes to appeasing the internet gods, it usually gets done. We saw that with Deadpool. which made Fox a whole bunch of money. Um, so I don't see like, the only thing that I see is that directors are now going to be like, you know what? Let's forget about going to the studio completely because they're not going to give me what I want. I want Final Cut. And people like Netflix, especially, and I have to put them out there. Netflix is willing to take that risk. We saw that with The Irishman, right? They're willing to take that risk with directors and be like, hey, we got the cash. We want the content because they realize that content is king. And if we give these guys an opportunity to put their best out, then you're going to see a lot of these studios stop getting pitches. And it could be a bad deal for the studios ultimately. But let's see how it goes. I don't know how many, I mean, directors have a lot of power in this town. We'll see how it goes.